I think most people would agree that a woman can behave very differently with different men. She might love, appreciate, and respect one man even after a long time, while things with another might be far less smooth or fulfilling. Of course, this isn't always the case, but in my experience, a woman's behavior is often a reflection of the man's behavior, how he presents himself in a relationship and in communication in general. In this video, I'd like to talk about a few principles that, in my humble opinion, can significantly increase a man's chances of building a healthy and lasting relationship with a woman. The first rule is this: don't overvalue a woman without good reason. A lot of men tend to put a woman on a pedestal early on, simply because she's physically attractive. But that alone isn't nearly enough for a meaningful relationship. It's actually a pretty weak foundation. It's important to be mindful and intentional when choosing a partner. There are plenty of beautiful women out there, and beauty alone isn't a reason to think she's the one. Instead of just focusing on looks, pay attention to how she treats you and what actions she takes, especially over the long term. The second rule is, don't force yourself on someone if there's no mutual interest from the start. This is a very common issue when a man tries to win over a woman who simply doesn't feel the same way. No matter what you do, I won't say it's impossible to change that, but it's definitely very difficult. And honestly, why even try? There are plenty of women out there who are open to mutual connection. Sometimes there are also women who seem to like you, but still put up artificial barriers between you. In those cases, I wouldn't waste time trying to break through that wall either. At the end of the day, I believe in mutual interest. The third rule, never forgive betrayal. In my view, there's no justification for it. It's a conscious choice, and it erases everything that was built in the relationship. I think most people understand that. And by the way, if a man is willing to forgive something like that, some women can sense it. Of course, he doesn't say it outright, not to her, and probably not even to himself, but his behavior gives it away. And that unspoken willingness to forgive betrayal can actually increase the chances of it happening in the relationship. The fourth rule, if a breakup happens, you need to be able to stay true to yourself. Not all relationships end on good terms. For example, breaking up after a betrayal can leave a man emotionally wrecked for months. And when that happens, many men lose control and start leaning into unhealthy habits, hoping to numb the pain somehow. But how do you actually stay yourself in that situation? It's easier said than done. One way to reduce the risk of falling apart is to diversify your time and interests in life. In many cases like this, the woman had become the man's only focus. He lost himself in her and spent almost all of his free time on her. So naturally, when the relationship ended, it left a huge void. That's why it's important to have hobbies, personal interests, and to spend time with friends regularly. All of that can help soften the blow. The next rule is based on a simple principle. A relationship should make your life better. Otherwise, what's the point? I often see people in relationships where not only are things not better, they're actually much worse. And if a man realizes he feels worse with a particular woman than he does on his own, then the obvious question is, why is he even with her? Of course, that's a rhetorical question. The answer is usually habit, or just not wanting to make any changes in his life. But if that's the case, then he really shouldn't be surprised that things feel so bad. I hope this video helps you to make the right decision. See you in the next video.